Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you here tonight. Just concluded watching WWE Payback 2020. Wow, what a pay-per-view this really honestly was. It ended up just sort of being like SummerSlam 2020 Part 2. This was basically just filled with a lot of rematches and a lot of little twists. We got new tag champs, Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. Won the championship. We got Keith Lee upsetting Randy Orton after he took forever to hit the RKO. But I think what everybody is here to talk about basically is just Roman Reigns winning the Universal Championship in the main event, defeating Bray Wyatt and Braun Strowman, where he was in a match that he hadn't even signed the contract for. This is probably going to go down as basically being a Paul Heyman plan, where he basically just found a loophole in the rules where basically he was on the contract in order to be in the match, but because he hadn't signed the contract, he wasn't a part of the match when it first started. He was not there for the opening bell. The three-way started as just basically a one-on-one encounter between Bray Wyatt and Braun Strowman, where they beat the holy hell out of each other until the ring collapsed. I'll tell you the truth. The ring collapse, I think, in my memory, off the top of my head, we've seen it happen at least 6 times with Braun Strowman, Big Show, Mark Henry, Brock Lesnar. We've seen this so many times. The first time it happened, it honestly was one of the coolest things we ever seen. I'll even tell you the second time they did it, it had been so long that it still kind of seemed real. And then it just seems like they just do it all the freaking time now. It is a really cool spot if you've watched wrestling a lot. Not as long as basically I have or anybody else have. And it's the first time you've seen it. Yeah, it probably is the coolest thing you've ever seen. But, you know, when you've seen the same spot 5 or 6 times in matches, it just doesn't really make sense. What comes to mind is the John Cena Alberto Del Rio match from, I don't know, that had to be like 2012, 2013, where they actually had the ring collapse and then they had to have Cena and Del Rio go out there and wrestle their match for the main event in the collapsed rubble of a ring and still try to keep the rules of WWE going on in there. Once the ring collapsed, it is when Roman Reigns made his appearance and he came down to the ring. He signed the contract at the top of the ramp that Paul Heyman was signing. It looked like he was just going to walk in and just basically pin The Fiend or Braun Strowman, but both of them kicked out to the point where Roman had to go outside, grab a steel chair, come back into the ring, and just start whacking people like crazy. Bray Wyatt and Braun Strowman both tried to fight off Roman Reigns, but since he was fresh, he was able to overcome both of them, basically, countering the mandible claw from The Fiend before he pinned Braun Strowman, 1, 2, 3 in the middle of the ring. So as of right now, it looks like Roman Reigns, the heel that we've all been looking for, is now Universal Champion of SmackDown.